React Access is a library which basically helps React project to fetch data or posting data or some other APIs like deleting data or updating data. So for that, what we need to install React Axios from this simply npm install React Axios. So I'll copy this from here and I'll go to my terminal and I'll install this React Axios. Or there are some, okay, what I'm looking for is only simple Axios, not the React Axios. Okay, so this is the one we are going to use. So it's basically as you can see, the weekly downloading number of downloading of this library is something like 12 lakhs or it's more than 12 lakhs. Okay, so this is the library we are going to use, and it is not React specific. This library can be used to any other node projects like Angular also, or can be used in other node applications. So we are going to install this Axios from this link. So npm install Axios. I have copied this, and now I'll go back to my terminal again. I'll open up a new terminal, and here I'm going to install this library. So it will take some time. So in between I'm going to create some other components for this Axios data fetching functionality. So I'll take another file over here. So I'll take a name that Axios class.js or Axios list.js, because the next item I'm going to have the post method, and inside Axios list.js I'm going to have a class component over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to import React first of all. So import React with the component, so component, and then from React, and then I have to import the Axios. So import Axios from Axios like this. So right now it is not being installed, but it will get installed after some time. And then class which I'm going to return is Axios list extend component. Alright, and I'm going to export this class. So export default alright. Now inside it I'm going to have the similar kind of constructor over here. So I'll type constructor, and then inside constructor I should pass the props, and then we are going to have super method with props, and then I'm going to have some state over here. So this dot state equals to I should have some items over here. So in this case I'm going to take posts as my items. So post is basically an empty array, and then I should have an error message. So I'll take error msg as error message, and initially it is empty string. And after that, similarly I'm going to have a render method and in this render method I'm going to return something. So I'll return React fragment over here, and then inside this fragment I'm going to have some like list of, or maybe my API lists, and then what I'm going to provide here, I'm going to provide some conditional statement like which is if posts dot length, then we are going to have posts dot map function, and here I'm going to provide post, which is an arrow function, and then I'm going to return a div item over here, and inside div I'm going to have a key, which is again the post.id. So in our previous example I used items, so instead of item I'm using posts. So this is the post from this map function, so post.id, and inside div I'm going to have post.title. Alright, and whenever we are using a ternary operator, so we should have another value, like otherwise it will return null. So now you can see the error from this line has been gone. It was showing some red line error, so it is a ternary operator. And after that what I'm going to have, I'm going to have another operator over here, so it will simply say error message. If there is an error message, I'll simply return a div which will simply say the message, what message it is, so error message again, and after that we are going to have null. So alright, so we have declared all these stuffs from this state, but we are not using this dot state because we are going to do some destructuring of state over here. So constant, same kind of approach like we did in our last example. So one is the posts, and another one is okay, I should not have this in my return, it should be under render but not inside return. Another one is the error message, and that is equals to this dot state. Alright, now we have to fetch data with this Axios library. Let me see if it is installed. Okay, so it has been installed. Now I should close this and let's go back to, let's check out package.json if it is installed correctly or not. Alright, so it has been installed over here. Now over here I should use this Axios. So for that again I am going to use this lifecycle method which is component did mount, and inside this method I am going to have, instead of fetch instead of fetch I am going to use Axios. So I should write Axios like this, and then get, and get from the API URL which is over here. And then it is also returning the promise, so we should have the dot then method over here, and inside then I'm going to have a response, and after response I have to so here this response is so in previous example we did like we take the response over here and convert it to the JSON, and then we took the result, and after that we have we had set the item to this result. But in Axios we don't need to have that middle function over here. Simply whatever the response is, basically the result. So I simply console.log the response over here. So console.log the response over here, and then I should have, instead of having error handling process like we did in HTTP class, like error, we should have a catch block over here. So then I should type dot catch, simple JavaScript promise kind of functionality, a simple JavaScript promise over here. So catch, I'll catch the error over here, and then arrow function, and inside this function I'll simply console.log this error. Alright, now I am going to check this response. What is the response right now? I'm going to take this class name over here and I'll paste over here. Now let's go back to our browser and see the result. Okay, so we should not use equal sign in our state, so let me correct that. It should be colon. Okay, in our console we are seeing it as an object. I guess the data will be, it should be response.data, as we are using Axios. Alright, so again let me check the console again. Sometimes it doesn't render correctly. Okay, so we are having object over here which is having data and the other information like config and then the headers and request status. So every information we are getting from this object, and what we are going to render is the data. So this is going to be the, here I'm going to set the state. So this dot set state, which is again posts is equals to this dot data, and for the error handling message I'm going to have this dot set state again, and here in the error message some error message over here, like error message. Now if you look at our browser, I hope it will work. Okay, so now it is working. It has fetched the data correctly from Axios. Now you can understand the difference between Axios and normal HTTP page, normal page in React.js. So in this case we have to have this middle then method, but in Axios it should not, we don't need that middle then method, as it is returning the whole promise. So we can get it from simply one then method, and here we can use the catch block like we use in JavaScript promise, same kind of functionality over here. So this is it for the Axios get item. Now we should post one item to our API. So for that I'm going to create another file over here. So and the name should be Axios post.js, and it is again going to be class component and almost similar to this Axios list. So I'll copy all this stuff from here and I'll paste over here. Now instead of this post and error message, okay, first let me change this list to post. Alright, and now for posting, what we are going to post, we are going to post some user ID and title and some body part as it is in our API. So we are having API like user ID, then title, then body, and ID is basically going to be created dynamically. So we are not concerned with this ID over here. Now let's go back to our code, and here I'm going to have some state like user ID which is for the moment empty string, and then we are going to have title which is again empty string, and then we are going to have body over here which is again empty string. Now we don't need this component did mount method over here because we are going to post data, and in return we are going to have an form element over here. So I'm going to destructure this state. So for that I take this user ID, then title, and then body over here like this, and in return method we are going to have one form. So I delete all these lines from here. I'll take a form, and here I'm going to provide some default form elements. So I'll take div over here, and inside div I'm going to have one input, type text, and name. It should have a name like user ID, and then value is basically the user ID from state, and then I should have a onChange method because without onChange this value will not get set to our state. So onChange, and then we are going to call a function which is this dot change handler, and we should define this function over here. So change handler will take the event from the event, and then inside here I'm going to set this dot set state, and here what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the name of this event dot target. For this, in this case the target name is user ID, and which is similar to the state ID. So instead of writing different change handler method for these three different items, I'm going to write one single change handler method which will dynamically take this and dynamically take this key names of this state and replace the value of the onChange value. So for here I'm going to take one array. So e dot target dot name, so which is going to take this name, and then e dot target dot value like this, and this will help me to not repeat the same functionality again and again. So I'll copy this line of codes and paste underneath, and instead of user ID I should have title over here, and again the body. Alright, and after that we are going to have one button. So I'll take a button over here, and type of this button is going to be submit. So I'm going to submit from this form, submit, and the text is again submit over here. Now in form I should have the method on submit, and this is going to be this dot submit function func. Now I should define this submit function over here. So submit function is basically a function which will take the event so that we can get the data from target, and then inside this submit function, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the Axios and then post method, like previously we used get method, and we are updating data, posting data. So for that we are using post method, and we are going to use the same API URL because it's a dummy API URL from this JSON placeholder. And what we're going to post, we're going to post this dot state object. So that is the object is going to be posted over there. And then again it is a promise, so I'll take dot then method and simply take the response. So console.log the response, and then I should have the catch method over here, simply JavaScript promise, so catch error, and then I'm going to have the enter console.log error, like this. Alright, so I think we are done over here. I'm taking why I'm taking event over here, I will explain later, but before I want to show you how it is working. So Axios post, copied, and then I'm going to call this over here. Now let's go back to our browser and check how it is working. I'll open the console side by side. So first of all, I'm going to have some user ID, which is basically some kind of ID. So I'll provide 2 over here, and then some title over here. So this is post title, and then body is this is dummy body. Now if I click on submit, as you can see, this is being reloaded again and again because of the normal HTML behavior of form submit. So we don't need this reloading behavior over here. So for that, what we need to do is we need to provide that prevent default method in our submit function. So for that, I have taken this event dot prevent default. So it will prevent the default behavior. I hope I have spelled it correctly. So it will prevent the default behavior of HTML, and it will not reload this whole browser. So let's go back to browser again, and if I type something over here 2, and then this is post title, and this is dummy body, and if I click on submit, as you can see, we are having a response which is 201, that is mean success response, and data is also posted to this JSON placeholder, and you can see the unique ID is 101. Now if I go back to this file again and search for 101, maybe okay, so let's unique ID, let's check it over here. Okay, I should search with this title, maybe I can get it over there. Or maybe a dummy placeholder, so that it is not taking any data from other inputs, but from the message we can see that it is a status of success. We can post data like this. There is no cache or no error handling over here, but from the status we are understanding that this post method is being posted successfully. Alright, so that's it for this HTTP request and the using of Axios npm library, which is a very popular library in for React or other kind of Node applications. So that's why I have shown this example. Or if you want to use differently like React Axios, that is also almost kind of similar kind of stuff, but I prefer Axios over the other React Axios. So guys, thank you for watching this video. We will see in our next class.